My husband has MS. My daughter went through cancer just after my dad died of cancer. I was working full-time in retail, and I didn't really get a chance to get away and visit my dad when he was going through cancer. I didn't get a chance with my daughter to go be with her. So when it was all done, I just decided that nothing in life is worth the paycheck. And I'd rather be poor and spend some time with my kid and my husband. And so I just irrationally quit my job. I just dropped the keys on the counter and walked out. And then I felt horrible about everything. I didn't have a job, everything sucked, and I sat on the couch crying. And then one day I watched Whip It, like every girl says they watch Whip It. And then I thought, hey man, we need roller derby around here. And because I want a roller derby, I'm gonna start it. And it was that greedy reason why I started. I didn't do it for women empowerment or for women to get together. I did it for me to get up off the couch and start living life again. I think for me, roller derby keeps me getting up off the couch and not giving in to just, oh, I worked all day and it was stressful and I'm tired and I don't want to do anything. And it forces me to get up, and it forces me to be aware of my body and to be aware of what I put into it. I've been in a lot of other sports, and I've been in dance where it's just like, you know, you're not the right shape to be doing this dance class, and you're not this and you're not that, and you didn't grow up, you know, since you were little skating, you're not good enough. And like, you don't get that in roller derby very much. I mean, there's some leagues out there, and I don't even think it's leagues, I think it's individuals in each league that might be like that and might be a little mean, but for the most part everybody really wants to see everybody else succeed, and that feels good. I think that for me, it wasn't roller derby that was life-changing for me. It was actually an injury that took place in roller derby, and what I did to survive that injury is what changed my life and my perspective on things. Okay, so roller derby is 5-on-5, and the person wearing the star is the one who gets all the points. And so the whistle blows and the pack starts moving and the jammers try to get through, and then they have to skate around one whole time, and when they come back around, for every hips that their hips pass of an opposing skater, they get 1 point, for a total of 4 points per pass. So the jammers duke it out skating real fast, and the blockers have to beat each other up and beat up the jammers and try to make holes for their own jammers. So that's the game. To get involved in this sport, you need to go to Fresh Meet, and Fresh Meet is basically held by the league, and they follow all these things that they need to teach you in order to play. How to roller skate, how to fall, positional blocking, pretty much everything you need to know to feel safe at a beginner level. It's usually about 3 months long, and you have to pass the test afterwards. And there's a written test as well, and if you don't pass either of those, then you don't get to skate. You gotta keep doing it until you get it right. I entered roller derby in 2011. That's when I took Fresh Meet with Alliston and Renegade Derby Dames. I founded Grey Bruce the end of summer 2011 with 2 other girls, and like the drama between the 3 of us is so ridiculous. And then I was doing dishes and I tweaked my back, and like I couldn't even walk. I don't even know how I drove to roller derby. And then I participated and hurt myself even more. Ended up falling, and I remember laying there for long enough that I was skating under number 9 at the time, and the 9 on my jersey was like on the floor. You could like see where it was wet and then dry from the vinyl, because you don't sweat through the vinyl. And there was like 9 on the floor. That's how long I laid there. But I got up and I skated away, and I just started thinking about roller derby and everything, and I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I should just give up while I'm ahead. And then just back to the whole founding of the league with the other girls. We're clashing personalities, we're clashing ideas, and my dream of starting roller derby is being like pulled right out from under me. I just felt it was better to walk away if I wanted to see Grey Bruce truly grow into the vision that I had. So I went back to Alliston to skate with them, and I still had the back injury, and then when I started getting over that, there was a lot of comparing myself to other people and how I sucked because I couldn't do this, and this person like a week ago was a worse skater than I am, and now they're like the 18 player. So there was a lot of fear that held me back. I started getting into drills. I ended up breaking someone's nose totally by accident with my elbow pad, and like it just it was not cool. It was not a cool experience. And then finally, with all the sisterhood and all the encouragement and blah, 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 I passed my safety test and was able to do skating again. Then I go to my first bout, and I went down and I completely tore my PCL and almost completely tore my MCL. And to this day, even with a brace, which I have to skate with, I can do certain moves and I can feel my MCL pulling, and it hurts just as bad as the day I did it. The way that I fell, my front wheel actually pulled, and the roll of the wheel hitting the ground ripped my leg the wrong direction, and I just heard like 6 pops. And then it just hit me that, like, yet again, you're not going to play roller derby. And I just started screaming obscenities on the track really angrily until one of my teammates came over. It was Lockie, and she just said, just take a breath, it's gonna be okay, and they're gonna check you out. There was no point in going to the hospital. I was swollen, and they were gonna say, oh, we can't do anything till the swelling's down. So I stayed, watched the rest of the bout. I went to the after party with crutches that somebody ran home and got. They were like way too small, so it was hilarious, but it did the trick. And then after that, I went home. And the next day, my husband took me into the hospital. And at first it was thought that the injury really wasn't that bad, but then I saw a sports doctor, and they wanted to do surgery. When they told me, I had just woken up from anesthetics, so I bawled my eyes out saying, I'm never gonna play roller derby again, you can't do this to me. And so then he decided not to do surgery because it was actually going to take me off the track 5 years, like within 5 years, whereas if I just put a brace on and basically have something act as my ligaments, I can continue playing until I decide that I don't want to play anymore. It was about a year and a half before I decided to take freshman. I was on skates before that. I was on skates within the year, but too chicken to do anything other than roll forwards. I was mentally giving up. I was like, these are all signs to just give up on derby. Just give up, give up, give up. And it's not something that deep down inside I wanted to do. So out of boredom one day, I had just pulled out the Bones Brigade documentary. It's Tony Hawk and Rodney Mullen and all the other guys of the Bones Brigade skate posse back in the 80s. And Tony Hawk is a huge inspiration to me. I've always been in love with him. I used to cut up my brother's Thrasher magazines and get in trouble for it because I cut Tony's face out and stick it on my wall. And so anyway, I decided to watch this documentary, and I had forgotten a lot of what was in it. And I got to a part where Tony Hawk was trying to win this competition, and he kept messing up, and he felt so defeated, and he wanted to give up skateboarding altogether, and he never did, and he went on to be the world's greatest skateboarder ever. Rodney Mullen, his dad didn't want him skateboarding. Skateboarding wasn't cool, and he still went through his dream by focusing on the times that his dad allowed him to skateboard. He took all his energy and really practiced hard. And so between the two, for me, it was to basically get out of my own head. It is what it is, man. You didn't transition properly, whatever, but you didn't fall on your face, right? Like, look for a positive in everything and kind of a reason to not lose focus. That's basically what I got out of watching that. And then I pulled out another documentary. There's this other guy, his name's Danny Way, and he jumped the Great Wall of China with a broken foot. Like, they built this ramp, and he gets up and he goes on a skateboard, okay? Like, mind you, I would probably, if I could, do it on roller skates, but not after watching this. This guy goes on the skateboard over the Great Wall of China, but he misses and breaks his foot. Okay, so this event happens the next day, and all these people from around the world are scheduled to watch this guy jump the Great Wall of China on a skateboard. But he's got a broken foot. So, and he wears knee braces, these 2 knee braces, okay? And then he tapes his like foot, and he goes and he jumps the Great Wall of China. And I was just like, okay, if that dude can like jump the Great Wall of China with a broken foot, then like, why am I giving up roller derby? I think part of not wanting to give up either is because when I do like overcome something or learn a skill that I really believed I was never going to learn, it feels just awesome. The support from other people, I mean, be it someone on your league or somebody on the other side of the world through Facebook cheering you on, it just makes you feel included. It makes you feel accepted. We have open houses, and all these girls come out and they tell us their fears. Like, they tell us that they still hold a wall when they have wheels on their feet, and then we tell stories of when we held the wall when we had wheels on our feet, or We tell stories about our injuries and things that have set us back, and I think that's where the whole concept of sisterhood comes from, is that everybody is so supporting and everybody wants to see you succeed. I mean, there's a Facebook group that is nationwide of fresh meat and veterans who cheer on those fresh meat, of girls who list that they've been in fresh meat 4 times in a row just trying to get it right. Roller derby seems to pull out every single fear you could possibly have. Fear about what you look like in tight pants, fear of your weight, your athletic ability, your hair color. It's conquering yourself. And I've watched a lot of women hate themselves when they showed up and love themselves by the time they make a team. And that's probably the coolest part. And I have a tattoo from here to here of the artwork, and that's on the bottom of a Tony Hawk skateboard. As a reminder as to why I went back, I have the latest, what my brother always said to me, it is what it is, to remind myself, you know, it is what it is. It's just a game. Don't wig out if you can't do something. I went back with these tattoos to remind me of everything that I reflected on while not being able to do roller derby. And I started Fresh Meat a little bit angry that I've been doing this since 2011 and I'm still the freshest of fresh meat ever. My brace, bulky with the knee pad, it's annoying, I hate it, so I have to get used to it. And every time I skate, I notice it a little bit less than the last time, but I still notice it enough to know that it's there. But then I look at my tattoo, it is what it is, and I try to just ignore it. Some people go back with like total fear of like, oh my god, I'm gonna hurt myself. And I mean, I was cleared to skate and hit back in April, and I wasn't ready for Fresh Meat. I couldn't do it. I had to wait till September because I listened to myself, and I think doing it on my terms made it less scary. I took a very, very self-aware journey through my injury and really reflected on what other athletes that I look up to, like Tony Hawk, Danny Way, and Roddy Mullen, all have to say about a sport and about injuries and things that they've gone through. So I think I grew a little bit from the injuries. It stopped me in my tracks, and it made me learn something and grow as a person, and that's ultimately what I think everybody in life is after, is to grow. And I think there's a lot of people that grow in roller derby, but there's a lot of people that don't. Some people just go to roller derby and have bad experiences and quit. And I mean, some people go to roller derby and have, oh, it was just a sport to me, and don't have any experience at all, really. And then some people go to roller derby and have amazing moments and amazing life changers. I think I was lucky enough to have one when I blew my knee out. I think it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. Most athletes come back stronger than ever after injury. And I actually heard that when I was injured, and I thought, yeah, that's a load of crap if I've ever heard it. Like, no way. And you know what? If you go through your injury and you are self-aware of what's going on mentally, and you're self-aware of what's happening when you're doing physio, you really try to push out any negative and you don't lose focus, basically, you will come back stronger than ever.